is Jonathan Moerbe from Rialto Academy here, and I'm getting a chance to talk with Reed Moore. He's the leader of RMG Real Estate Network. Also has a bunch of other cool things going on. Today we're really going to dive in and focus on that real estate team, on that network. So first off, welcome, Reed. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Definitely excited to dive in and learn from you here. And one of the big things that we're seeing in Inman, the Real Trends, et cetera, there's really a big push towards teams right now and really a focus on teams. So for you, what do you see as that team opportunity? You're an early adopter in teams. So for you, what is the opportunity from teams?
You know, teams really fit an interesting niche, especially going into kind of this disrupted environment. And that is, teams really fundamentally do two things. One is they help people move further faster. And everybody's noticing the pace of our industry and the ability to keep up and do more and more business and do it at a much higher level is speeding up, probably almost infinitely, it seems. So getting everybody further faster is one big push. The other one is that our industry is finally starting to come along to where the idea of specialization and really protecting the time of people that are very, very productive or have a very specialized niche, that's been around for the last 15 to 20 years with teams, but because of all the industry forces, it's really coming to the surface now. And that's why I think teams are kind of front and center.
Sure. So how specifically do teams help people get further faster?
Good question. So if I have a brokerage has kind of a really broad platform for me to be able to go in and run my business off of. And ultimately, a really large brokerage brand isn't down to the tactical level of really helping agents one-on-one get to excellence or protect their time or grow their personal life. And so teams really fit this niche because the relative size of a team is much smaller, and it causes the relationships and the support systems and everything to be much more catered to those individuals. Teams are a lot of times more picky about the individuals that come into the team, not just talent, non-talent, but do they actually fit our way of doing business? And then all of the support structures are built around those people, so they're very custom.
Sure. And so that one-on-one attention allows people to maybe get the training they need at that certain time, or that little bit of coaching they need at that certain time.
Yeah, they don't get lost in the masses. And I think it's just unrealistic to ask a brokerage to do that because they fundamentally have a different role to play in the environment.
Sure. That definitely makes a lot of sense. And so in terms of being specialists, then, like you said, that's something that can then help that person find the right team that's the right fit for them because they're in alignment with that specific focus.
Yeah, they're in alignment from a vision and values basis, and then they're in alignment in like a behavioral basis, and they're in alignment with their skill set. So all of those things start to stack up, and in a team, you have the ability to bring people into alignment in all of those different categories.
Sure, so definitely alignment with skill set, with behavioral profile. Also, I'm assuming alignment with the specific culture of that team, so of that subgroup. So is that part of it?
Yeah, the culture, culture, some people roll their eyes, some people don't. At the end of the day, the culture is the environment that productivity happens inside of, right? We all operate our businesses inside the culture of the United States. And if the culture is pro or anti-business, that impacts us, right? So when we bring people into a culture or an environment, we actually have to train people, what are the rules of engagement here? Like if you or I went to Prague right now, if we were wise travelers, we would read up and figure out, what are the cultural engagement, criteria that we should be thinking about.
Sure. So most times, how much overlap would there be in the culture of the team versus that bigger corporation, bigger organization that they're a part of? How do you balance that?
I think there needs to be an alignment all the way down, right? So if the culture of your team is out of alignment with the culture of the brokerage, you're just going to constantly have friction there. So a brokerage at its best really paints a broad picture of the type of culture, and then a team ends up being maybe a more potent version of that, but it shouldn't be out of alignment.
Sure. So if you were starting a new team, one great place to start would be look at the culture of the group that you're, the brokerage that you're a part of, and then use that as a launching off point, but then find your specialization and find kind of your special sauce from there.
Yeah. So I think of a brokerage as being like, this is the soil. And if the soil's good, I can plant my tree, and ultimately if I take care of it, the soil is going to support that. But the growth and the health of the tree is going to be dependent on me growing it and maturating my own business.
Sure. So have you found that for yourself, the way you've developed your culture and your branding has helped to attract recruiting, to attract producing agents to your team?
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of the way we think about this is whatever you decide to build on, you have to keep up with, right? So if you build on, a culture of integrity and character and those kind of things, and you move on, and then for the sake of a good hire or the sake of an opportunity, you deviate from that, you have some significant problems. And so what we've found is through training and through consistency and through just kind of being who we are over a long period of time, we start to attract people because people can stand and they can watch and they can see year after year after year, you guys are who you say you are, right? And that's a powerful attractor for talent.
Yeah, and so what I'm hearing too is that culture is something you build in the beginning. You really want to set that foundation, but then culture is also the way you live, and every brick that you build is part of building that foundation.
Yeah, culture is always a present tense thing, right? Who you used to be is just, it's moderately irrelevant today. Mm-hmm. And you always have to be careful of that.
Sure. So when you're building your own, so I guess do you see, so with RMG, is that a separate platform? Is that a separate training and recruiting platform that you're launching off of, or do you see it as a subset of a bigger brokerage?
So the larger you get, the more it ends up being kind of its own platform. And the thing is that if you're going to be an indie or you're going to be a part of a larger brokerage, you have to just know what extra elements of the business you're going to have to build or not build as a result of being a part of that brokerage. So for us right now, it's just a great, we have a great relationship with our brokerage, and it provides this base level of support. And we've been able to build a really, really big, robust training system because the brokerage isn't constricting that.
Sure. But you're able to build something that is unique to your team. You're able to build something that really speaks to your own culture and doesn't go against the brokerage's culture, but it is its own unique thing that develops every year.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we talk about real estate teams, what we're really talking about is a real estate business that is in between the consumer and the brokerage, right? Like it's a business entity. And when you do that, you have to have the freedom as well as the desire, I would say, to build out all of your own training systems, because this is your business, this is your baby. You have a lot at stake. And I don't think that just saying, hey, we're going to ask these people over here to come train our people ends up being a really good way to build a scalable business, especially in multiple locations. Sure.
And that's part of it too, is that then having that training platform becomes a central thing that people then get to connect with. So if they're virtual or if they're remote, this is drawing them together.
That's right. Yeah, there's a common shared language. There's a shared experience. When somebody is not doing well, they can't look in the eye and say, you didn't train me, because it's like everybody goes through this. Everybody gets the exact same opportunity.
Right. And it seems that if you can identify the right type of agent that's a fit for you and then onboard them correctly and then keep them trained correctly, then that's the goal.
That's the goal. And all the training, it's one of the magical things about a team is I don't have to train everybody. I have to train my people and the people that are in alignment, which means my training can be way more in depth. I don't have to paint with broad strokes. And that's personally really satisfying.
For sure. Well, anything else you'd like to share? Anything else you've learned about teams or maybe a misstep that you made at one point that now you can have learned from?
Well, kind of along the lines of when we connected, is one of the things I realized is that there was a lot of really good things in here and a lot of things I wanted to train. And at the end of the day, I realized I'm a professional business person. I'm a professional real estate agent. I'm actually not a professional trainer or training development person. And I struggled just taking all of these ideas and concepts and putting them into something that like an adult learner would just grasp really fast. And so for a long time, that was a misstep of mine, and that's actually how we connected. So,
sure.
Yeah,
and I think that's something that we've seen a lot is someone being a great anything doesn't guarantee they're going to be a great something else. And so as you're growing a team, I'm an awesome agent. Now I'm a team. Wow, managing people is hard. So it really is good to identify what are those different skill sets, including training development is one of them.
Absolutely. A lot of people think, oh, you have a big team, you're good at training and development. No, I'm good at specializing and bringing other specialists into my world. That's actually what I do.
Perfect. Well, we've definitely enjoyed working with you so far. We'll, looking forward to working with you more in the future, and definitely appreciate your time. Thanks for sharing some of your team knowledge.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right, thanks.